So you've made your first custom block, but maybe you want to take things to the next level and better integrate it with the rest of your mobile app. Well, it sounds like you're ready to tap into variables and actions, the backbone of a more complex, integrated, and performant custom block. In this lesson, we'll be providing you with a primer on app actions and variables, and we'll take you through a series of examples and analogies for getting familiar with the concepts. The best way to look at variables and actions is as inputs and outputs, where variables bring data into your block and actions help you take data out of your block and into the rest of the mobile app. So let's start by breaking down variables. Variables are items you can latch onto in your block's code to get data about what's happening with the situation that the user is in the mobile app. This could be information such as collecting the product that they're looking at in the PDP, the customer who's actually logged in, information about their device, and information about the contents of their cart. Together, you'll need to leverage these if you're doing something more complex, such as calling an API to another service, or trying to do calculations or logic around what is happening around the user during their app session. Now let's touch on app actions. These are essentially the inverse of variables, as they allow you to output data into the rest of the mobile app. This is useful if your block actually has a business use case. Examples of this specifically is adding products to the cart, opening a product, opening a collection, or showing a success or error message for a consumer to see. These are called just by calling a regular function inside your custom block's JavaScript. So again, you don't need to do any API calls to use these. They're available out of the box and can be implemented just using a few lines of code that you can reference in the developer documentation. So with a brief understanding of actions and a brief understanding of variables, you can start to see how they can work together to create very powerful and integrated custom blocks. To take a really good example, putting it together, you can imagine creating a product recommendations block and putting it on the PDP. It uses the product ID variable to reference the product that the consumer is looking at, which is then used to make an API call to another service like Rebuy, with the result of that call being products that you can thread into your UI and then use an app action to actually open those products or add them to cart upon an interaction with the custom block. The capabilities start to be endless when you think about all the different applications, APIs, and services you can start to experiment with using variables and actions. And so that is our primer for variables and actions. We cannot wait to see how you use them to take your blocks to the next level to engage your app's community.